Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about the interview that Rockstar has done with VG247 yesterday in an article that I'll leave in the link in the description down below if you want to read for yourself. But I just grabbed a couple of things from it that I was particularly interested to have a little bit of a chat about. So definitely, there's an awful lot of like, hey, we did this and hey, we did that, and promotional and PR talk here and there. But there's a couple of things that I found particularly interesting, so let's dive into those things. First of all, they are saying, and I quote, "We got plans for other business ventures that players could do. The idea that is at some point new opportunities may be too big to be sustained inside the camp, so maybe they would need to move to another property. At that point, there could be multiple kinds of business players can look at running simultaneously. But none of this is set in stone. We're still absorbing the feedback from players from the initial roles, and we'll see how we can improve upon these ideas as we go." So basically, the shorter version of this is that they are looking into potentially bringing properties to Red Dead Online as well. Now, personally, I feel that what they have done with the trader update so far, and like using the camp for the trader, it works well, but I really do wonder how they would expand upon the camp even further, because obviously there's a limited space that you have, and also limited opportunities for what exactly you could probably do with the camp as well. Personally, I don't really have any good ideas of what it could add to Red Dead Online in terms of other businesses and stuff like that, but I don't really feel that having a house as a property is something that I would personally really, be extremely excited about, because if you look in GTA Online, when is the last time you actually went into your apartment and did anything in there? It really is just, a space that you can use. I think a lot of other things can be said about that as well, like the nightclub, for example. Unless there's a business attached to it, I don't really think a lot of people use it, but that's just my personal experience and just my opinion. But if they were to add properties and they were to utilize them for more businesses, then I'm all for it, just maybe you could start having your own fence, or you start your own horse trading business like you had in single player. This is something that is very much possible and could be something that really fits within the world of Red Dead Online. Another quote for you here: "Photography and allowing people to capture their adventures and moments is really important to us, and it's something we've already established the community love. It's been amazing seeing a process come together for professional photographs thanks to the latest update." So, I have one question. Where's the fucking Rockstar editor? Where is it? Where? The fuck's taking so long? Give it to me! Let me make some proper fucking thumbnails instead of this ass! I don't want to make fucking photos! I want my Rockstar fucking editor! Give it to me! Moving on. One thing they have already learned from this feedback and the in-game statistics is that PvP isn't anywhere as near as popular as free roam and cooperative activities. That means that competitions like Heist are much more pressing than a new deathmatch, for example. No shit. I wonder why no one plays PvP. Could it be because the only maps that the game is currently offering are basically all the same, and there's not literally an awful lot of variety going on inside of the PvP, and it's kind of been left for what it is for a very long time? Sure, with the latest updates they have given more things to go for, but the main issue I think still is with PvP is a lack of variety of things that you can do in it. More specifically, maps. The amount of locations in the map that have just simply not been utilized yet. Hello, Armadillo, anyone? It's been used once inside of that 4-player game mode. 8-player game mode, I should say, but I mean, really? Like, I'll be the first one to tell you, I enjoy PvP more in Red Dead Online than I do in GTA Online, because it's, it feels better to play. Free aim being another reason for that. But the main issue is pretty simple. There's simply not an awful lot in terms of maps inside of the game. And all the modes that are there, especially the objective modes, they're kind of the same, if that makes sense. And there's not really an awful lot of intensity going on when you just have simply people running around with something like Painted Black and the Deadeye ability cards. I think that's one of the biggest critique of a lot of people, is how to some the PvP feels awfully unbalanced with the way that basically the game plays. There's a lot of heavy reliance on, Deadeye cards and stuff like that. And to me, that's pretty fine, but in the general scheme of things, I really feel that there's a lot of people out there who just don't really enjoy that, and they much rather just enjoy the world and also the PvE, because that is something that they really see Red Dead Online to be, and that's something they always wanted. Personally, I feel that Red Dead Online definitely more maybe lends itself towards that PvE environment versus PvP. Sure, it's there, but if you now have a playlist that's just a shootout series where you end up playing the 32 player variants of what once was the Showdown Large playlist, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't want to play Tall Trees. It's an awful map. 32 players inside of the game modes, I mean, in my opinion, they gotta go. 32 players is just not something that is fun to play in Red Dead Online because of the spawns. They're just ass, really. Hostile territory on Blackwater, anyone? Just to give you an example. I remember back in the day when I still was playing PvP actively, and well, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really touched PvP all that much ever since the last update. Whenever hostile territory would come up, I would just leave the game because I don't want to deal with it. There's a lot of issues still going on with PvP and they really need fixing. First of all, we need maps. Then they need to fix the spawns. And then maybe, just maybe, more people will be interested in PvP. The issue, however, is the fact that we're now almost a year later into the game, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of encouragement for playing something like PvP in Red Dead Online, when something like Heist would be something that would be much more interesting to a lot of people. So personally, I'd say, yes, don't forget about PvP and throw us some more maps here and there as well, because well, the game really needs it, some more fun, unique game modes in there as well. But until then, by all means, please do prioritize PvE content, because that is where the majority of your player base is clearly more interested in than what is now a mode which is PvP that is not being played an awful lot because of those issues. Oh, and yeah, there's also no single player DLC coming, which is pretty obvious, really. Because, like, let's be honest about this, single-player DLC, as great as it would have been, I feel that the story of Red Dead Redemption 2 is pretty much complete. If you play through it, you know how it starts, you know how it ends, you know what happens after Red Dead Redemption 2, which is Red Dead Redemption 1. So, I personally don't see how they would add another single-player DLC. I don't think that Undead Nightmare would fit at all within RDR2. The reason for that, we already did it in RDR1, and I really don't see why they would have to do a repeat of something that already done pretty well already. But that's just my personal opinion. Like, if they were to release a single player DLC, I'd be excited for it, but I think the reality really is that they are definitely focused on, you know, the multiplayer side of things, because that's obviously the thing they would really like people to play. But overall, that was kind of what it was inside of this interview. If you want to read it for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description down below. It's quite a long read, so if you don't like reading, then, well, tough shit, I suppose. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.